women's basketball team quieted critics with their strong conference performance. Although they came up short in their hopes to play in the NCAA tournament, Coach Judkins and the team are far from disappointed with how they finished their season. The women's basketball team returned 12 litter winners and 3 starters. They tallied big wins early on and set the tone for the 2009-2010 season.
First of all, beating Utah at Utah and beating them in the way that we wanted to, with Haley waiting there for 3 years to be able to play Utah and having one of her best games. Beating San Diego State here was big because both teams were right up there. It was a big game. It was a big game that we had to win, and we did that.
The team benefited from having Haley Hall, who averaged almost 10 points a game, back on the court. After suffering 3 ACL injuries the past 3 years in a row, this was the first time Haley completed a full season.
I feel weird, like this still feels like a dream a little bit that there's a season over and I really completed the whole season. But I think it's really good for my mental psyche to know that, I finished the whole season.
The Cougars struggled in the Mountain West Conference tournament, but hit their stride in the postseason.
Well, we always want to go to the top tournament, which is the NCAA tournament, but for this team right now to be able to do as well as we did in the NIT and get the confidence and see the excitement of being in a postseason tournament and be able to get to Elite Eight, I think was a great thing for this team.
I think it's a big success for us. I mean, especially considering we beat one of our big teams in our conference to get to where we got in the NIT.
Beating Pepperdine in the first round at home sent the Cougars to Arizona, where they'd beat Arizona State. Then they'd hop on a plane to Wyoming the next day to play the Cowgirls in the third round. They won 67-63, got on another plane, this time to Berkeley, California, where they'd play Cal and lose in a tough game 50-76.
The traveling was awful. It was like play one day, hop on a plane the next morning, get there. We didn't have time to practice ever in between.
Coaches say the wall, and sometimes you hit this wall and for whatever reason the whole team hit it. With about 10 minutes to go in the game, we just didn't execute and play as well. And I wish we would have done better, but now we know what the feeling of that is, and hopefully that won't happen again.
The Cougars will return all but one player, and after a strong finish in the NIT, the team is ready to make the changes necessary to get to the NCAA tournament.
From what I understand, we were on the bubble, so if we would have beaten Washington in the last second and beaten Kansas State and beaten Weber State in the preseason, we probably would have gone. And so I think they'll look at that. I think secondly, they'll realize we're going to do some different things. Next year we'll have a lot more depth with the 2 freshmen that set out this year, and they'll be back and everything. So I think we'll be able to be more up-tempo, see how hard these guys work in the off-season. There's going to be a lot of players fighting for position. Competition is awesome.